Hi, I'm Ethan. I've been experimenting with online businesses for about 10 years now, and I have lost track of how many projects that I've launched. Some have been successful, some very much not so. And my background is kind of all over the place. Started in journalism, got into content writing, then SEO, information architecture, UX, digital advertising, and then eventually programming. And that probably all looks and sounds a little disjointed, but I think the path in that mix is what makes the stuff I'm building actually useful for real business cases. Anyway, here is the problem that I want to talk about today, and the problem I faced that kind of sparked the whole SlappShell project. How many different subscriptions does it take to launch a simple service leads business? You got your website, lead capture, CRM, email, scheduling, invoicing, not to mention your SEO, conversion tracking, all that sort of thing. So right out the gates, that's potentially six different tools, six different logins, six different monthly bills before your project has even made a single dollar. So it really shouldn't be this hard. And I ran into this exact problem with one of my projects, and I decided to just build the thing myself. And when you start a business, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what exactly you're going to run into when you take those first steps. So you start Googling the solutions, or I don't know, would you say GPTing or Clauding or Geminiing the solutions to your problem? And if you're anything like the 30 plus million service businesses in the United States, you need a way to capture leads, communicate and coordinate with those leads, and finally collect payment for your services. So that should be simple, right? There should be a ton of tools that make that super easy, and you should be able to get it up and running really quickly, but that is not the case at all. What you actually find as you start getting into this is you need some sort of website builder, plus a form tool or landing page builder, plus a CRM, plus an email tool, plus scheduling software, plus invoicing and payment processing, plus whatever other special features you need for your business. And you'll find that each one of these tools is either bloated with features you don't actually need, or missing the simple one thing that you actually want. Or if it does have that simple thing, you're paying out the ass to actually use the only one thing that you need from the tool. And those costs start stacking up. The dashboards multiply, and still your project has not even been validated and you haven't made a single dollar on it. And most people give up right here as they're setting up their third tool, and they're like, what is even the point of all this? And honestly, I get it and I can't blame them. So here's what happened to me and kind of what sparked SlappShell's service CRM. I had an idea for just a small test business involving some leads and some local service type stuff. And I knew that I was going to need that full stack of tools to test this idea properly and make sure it was actually something that was worth pursuing. But this was a complete side idea that I did not have the time or money to spend at the time. So it really didn't make sense to be spending the hundreds of dollars a month on all these different tools that were going to be required to properly validate whether this was something worth pursuing or not. And so where I'd rather put that money for a new project is into paid campaigns to get leads quickly and see if I can convert them and test out the idea. And then second order down the line, if I need more infrastructure and more overhead, that's when I can add those things in. So again, decided to build the solution myself. And the result is Service CRM, a simple, effective lead capture website with a built-in CRM. So what you get is your core website with lead capture, all your information about your business, your lead forms, and it all goes into a built-in, let me log in here. All goes into a built-in CRM with all your leads. You can manage recurring subscriptions for those leads. You can send invoices. You can do everything you need to validate your service business and get up and running with everything baked in right from the start. There's no tools you need to connect to run this aside from your hosting and your Stripe account, really. We've got options that take care of emails and things like that for you if you don't want to manage the email service yourself. But everything is baked into one place, one login, one dashboard, one domain where you can get up and running quickly and effectively with everything you need without all the extra bloat and complexity that come with the traditional way of doing this. So yeah, again, you've got your core website, looks professional from the start, fast, responsive, all the SEO is baked in there, coming from a former SEO myself. You've got your conversion tracking baked in because that was a huge pain point from a lot of these tools where it's too complicated to send your lead form submissions and then those lead conversions back to your paid campaigns to get them optimizing your ad spend. And it just doesn't make any sense why it's so complicated. And of course, the paid platforms don't care whether you do it or not because they'll gladly take your ad money whether or not your spend is working for you. You've got your custom lead forms and a totally customizable website for really any service business, plus all the back-end CRM stuff to actually run the business. So I built it all into a single system and I packaged it up so anyone could reuse it. I could reuse it for different ideas I had in this space. And that's really the whole philosophy behind the SlappShell project. Building reusable systems so you can launch faster, run leaner, stay scrappy, validate ideas, and without wasting time and money on things you don't need to be doing to really validate out a project. And so the way I've set it up is if you've got experience programming, great. If you have limited experience, we've got you too. You can customize your build with just a few settings in a handful of configuration files for your business information, your payment flows, scheduling flows. We also have a managed service option where we handle all the setup and maintenance for you, and you just go into the CRM and run your business. So I wanted this to be really a game changer for people who want to start service-based businesses. Anything from contractors, cleaners, power washers, coaches, freelancers, anyone who needs to capture leads, manage clients, and get paid. And then on the flip side of that, it's also built for the developers and agencies who are building solutions for these types of clients. So if you're spinning up for local sites for local businesses, this gives you a foundation you can white label, customize for each client, and deploy pretty much instantly. And there are different options for both of those different users. So you've got your self-hosted boilerplates where you're going to do the programming and the hosting and all that yourself. And you've got the managed services where we will help you get started and help you along the way. I wanted to set it up for, both of those users or the business owners who like to do things themselves and really cut costs and bring things in-house and vertically integrate everything they need to run their business leaner and grow faster. Those options come with tons of documentation and tools designed to get you up and running as quickly as possible. If you have questions about it, please feel free to reach out. I'm always available. And so most of the last decade, I've been working on my own projects, mostly privately. Just heads down, building stuff, seeing what works. And SlappShell is really the first time I'm giving the whole build in public thing a shot. Sharing what I'm working on, what's launching, what I'm learning through the process. So if you're into that, come along, subscribe here, follow along on the socials of your choosing. I put out this each week is my goal. I'm calling it the SLAPPY WEEKLY, where I'm going to share ideas, case studies, progress, and things like that from the project. Just a little publication from inspired by my journalism days. But just remember, it should not be hard to launch your ideas, test them, and run lean. You don't need all this complexity and bloat to do a lot of the things that you probably want to do. The core of a service business is simple. You capture leads, you communicate with them, you perform the service, and you collect payment. Everything else is complexity and noise and really unnecessary as you're just getting started and validating those ideas. So if Service CRM sounds like something that could help your business or help you build out businesses for your clients, please get in touch. You can check out the demos, use cases, and purchase the option that makes sense for you on slappshell.com. Thanks for watching. Until next time.